Welcome to episode 1 of A Secret Podcast. I am Frank, and this is...
Nick. Hello. I didn't know what the introduction
Okay,
thing
so
was going to
how
be.
we doing? How we doing? All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 1 of A Secret Podcast. It's a secret podcast.
With a secret guest?
No, you're not my guest. We're like co-hosting, right? We're talking. There's no guest in this podcast.
Okay, this is the introductory.
There's no
just the
host.
two.
There's no guest in this podcast.
No host,
We're just
no
simply
guest.
talking.
Just two friends.
Just two friends.
Okay.
All right, I'm joined here by my longtime friend, Nick Sarpa. Everyone say hello.
Hello back. Nice. Probably for yours at home.
I don't know why. I still feel like I'm like fucking performing or something. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Okay, I
It's
think maybe we
weird.
just go.
Let's just talk.
Let's talk about why you feel like you're performing. Do you feel like you have this innate desire to perform, or is it? Do you feel weirded out by that? Like
I've been kind of soul searching these
stage.
days. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I've been soul searching these days, and I've been asking my questions, like an inquiry with myself, like what really fuels my soul, and was the last time I felt really alive, and that was on stage. I feel like that's really crazy. You know,
That's good.
like I've been on like 3 tours, but I feel like my favorite tour was the last one because like I really got to be really energetic in it, and also like just I've never felt like almost wanting to pass out on stage, but didn't pass out. You know, I almost like had that feeling of wanting to pass out from just pure energy, just like super energetic energy, like super. I don't know. It's just the crowd. Like I've been in that point before, and I've never felt that way before ever, and like only on stage.
Is it from like an adrenaline rush?
It's
to,
an
like,
adrenaline rush, bro.
Nice.
It's really crazy.
Sounds awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I can't really explain it. It's like a feeling more than it's an experience.
Nice. So, interesting. Do you feel like this feels different being on like a podcast setup where there's cameras? I almost feel like the difference, or like the biggest difference I would see would be the fact that you'd be in front of like an audience and have people directly there, and it's like you're connecting with them. Whereas this, it's like when the audience is gonna be watching this later, kind of a thing.
Right. Well, I hope with this podcast, because it's up in the air, it's under wraps right now. I don't know. This is just episode 1. Who knows if we'll happen episode 2.
True.
But I think I just want to be able to come on here and just hang, chill, and talk, and just have really deep conversations about whatever, and
I like
whoever's
that.
listening, if you like deep conversations about whatever and feel like joining us for like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, then this is the place to be.
Nice. Let's go. All right. This feels pretty sick. So tell me about what's been going on in your life recently. You just got back to LA, right?
Got back to LA.
What's been going on?
I've been traveling a lot, dude. I feel like a nomad. I feel like like I said, I've been soul searching. So I've been like kind of just not feeling like something's missing, but feeling like I need to find my true self, which is really dramatic sounding. But like, I feel like my mission in life is obviously music and like making a career out of it and like continuing to make a career out of it, inspire other people with my music, but also just like figuring out who I am, because I feel like I had a lot of struggles with that growing up and with my situation and stuff. So it's just like I've been doing a lot of important life task things. I don't know. I've been taking care of myself, been really spending time with family and like taking it easy and slow, because like I know my goals and stuff, but I just want to be able to attain them with a clear head. And
Nice. Did you hear the new Drake song?
no, what's the new Drake
Okay,
song?
so the drama around it is he sampled Kim Kardashian, and the quote she said just reminded me of what you said. She's like, "I didn't come this far to come this far and not be happy,"
Damn,
which is kind of a good thing.
You know,
It's like I want to achieve my goals, but I
actually
want
kind
to
of
do it with a clear head.
it's actually kind of funny. The other day I was thinking about that video.
Which one? The
The
Kim
Kim-
Kardashian one?
Yeah, I was just like, that's kind of crazy how like this person just became like a business billionaire now.
I'm not 100% sure, but it could be.
That's kind of crazy.
True. I like
Props to her.
Shoot, shout out Kim if you're watching this. Keep hustling.
not gonna watch this,
Dude, she might.
Maybe.
This could be bigger.
Hey
than...
Kim, if you're watching this,
What an insane sentence.
send money.
All right. You mentioned that you want to achieve some of your goals. I would love to hear what some of those goals are.
Well, I was just writing them down.
Right? Tell me.
Well, I definitely want to achieve personal fulfillment. I mean, I don't know what that means. I've been kind of like teeter-tottering with like myself and like where I fit in the world and how I want to fit in the world, but like not really doing as much as more so just thinking, you know? And I think my goal is more so are intertwined with how I want to feel like when I'm like 45 or 50. And like what do I achieve by like what will I achieve by then, and will I be happy with what I achieve? Will I be happy when I'm like 45 or 50? I don't know.
Interesting.
Like I said, I would been like I bring up the word soul searching because it's like I guess it's the only way I can really describe what I'm doing, like personally. Because like on the music front, like especially coming out of like a show like American Idol and like doing all that stuff, I didn't know what I was doing. That was like a couple of years back, and I was a lot younger then, and had no desire or knowledge of the music industry, like, or to be a part of it. And now I am in some sort of weird way, and like I want to stay in it and like have like a substantial longevity career in music. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out how I can do that with my own intuition and integrity, you know?
100%. That makes sense. The music industry is a tough one. I think a lot of people go into it like for the right reasons, but then with those pursuits get caught up in things and end up not sticking to their integrity and like kind of taking themselves or like sacrifice and compromise their art in ways that they wouldn't had they not been financially motivated.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially living in like places where like this city can feel so small, but this city can also feel so big and lonely at the same time, you know? And like the way I look at it is just like I'm just grateful to be around it all. And like I don't know, like I say I take gratitude two ways. I feel like one in like a kind of hyper fixated way where like I use it to my own advantage to feel little less bad about a certain situation. You know, because like I used to be such a fucking negative person all the time, and like this was like me like last year and like just 2 years ago too. Like I had to do a lot of like work on myself mentally, and like I think I took gratitude that way more 2 years ago, and now I'm taking gratitude more, and I'm actually grateful for this. You know, I feel lucky. I feel lucky to be here
rather than just like something that you use to
I'm like, all
still
right,
for
yeah,
personal gain.
I feel lucky. I guess I just feel lucky because I don't have this, but I have this. So it's just kind of like
genuine gratitude is a good thing. It will get you far.
I mean, it's definitely like calmed me down a lot. I used to be very anxious about the future and like just super stressed out a lot about things that I had no control over.
True. That's a good distinction. Things you don't have control over. It's a hard thing to like give up desire for control over those things, but you'll never have control over it. So the sooner you can do that and come to be just content with it and appreciative of what you do have is, I think the more peace you'll find.
Yeah, and I think what I'm practicing, I think what a lot of people practice and have been practicing for a long time, is just like just being free-spirited and just being okay with not having control over certain circumstances or situations, and just kind of just going with the flow, honestly. That's what I've been kind of doing, and I've been kind of loving where I'm at with that, because I've been feeling a lot more like at peace, kind of, in so many cool ways, you know? And even with the music, like, I'm having a lot more fun with just, like, making it. I'm a lot slower with it, because I feel like I'm taking a lot more time with, like, my personal, like, just me time, and just being, and, like, figuring that out, and, like, but, like, the music's always really great, especially when I'm in the studio. I'm kicking back on it, though. I'm, like, gonna start doing more sessions and, like, having more people in my apartment out here, because I stopped that for a while. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like creating is, for a long time, I was, like the integrity thing, I brought it up earlier. For a long time, I think I was like when I was creating in the studio, like I didn't know that I was working. I didn't know that I was just simply creating, when I was producing a session or producing a song or just creating with other people. I felt very it felt very natural. Didn't really feel like time was passing by. And I think I thought too much about it and like got a little too in my head and then had to like stop it completely because I got super insecure about it in my head and just like was like, this is so weird, like this whole thing, this whole routine is so weird. And I just needed to like stop it for a second. But now I'm back and I'm like writing a lot more. My goal is to make as many songs as I can and like hope that they can buy me a house or something, or a car or a new car one day or something like that, and support my family and my friends,
For sure. I feel that. It reminded me of a side note Pharrell thing. Did you see that interview where he was talking, do you like house music?
Was that
or
at
Jimmy Iovine was telling him?
Jimmy Iovine? No, I don't know what that is.
Pharrell was meeting with like a label head.
Oh, wait.
And apparently the label head was like asking him like, oh, do you like house music? And Pharrell thought he was talking about the genre. He's like, they got cool rhythms. Like, it's a good sound. It's like danceable. It's fun. And the music exec was like, no, I don't mean the genre. I mean like music that can buy you a house. Like music that's so good and that's so successful that you can buy a new house off of it. Pharrell's like, oh yeah, like I like that kind of house music. I thought that was
I'm trying to make that kind of house music.
Yeah, house music's good. But that's exciting.
Where was that from?
It was a Pharrell interview I saw recently.
Wow, that's crazy.
Shout out Pharrell if you're watching this. Big ups.
Do you like Pharrell? Like his music?
Did someone bait you with that question?
Huh?
Did someone bait you with that question?
No. Just curious, because...
All right, this is an honest podcast. I think Pharrell's a little overrated.
Okay.
I just don't love his production. I see that, like, I know he's like a pioneer, and I've got nothing but respect for him. And I think he's a really cool person and has like a really good approach. I like that he still has a student mentality this long in the game, but there's just something about his production that doesn't do it for me.
What don't you like about it though? Like,
it's like the rhythms, it's the sound choice. It's like.
Did you know that Pharrell is a drummer? Like he was in the marching band.
Andrew, do you mind checking on that real quick? We got a little pop up. Did it pause? Damn. Logic is like no Pharrell slander.
Damn, we were getting something good
I was ready
too.
Is it still going? Awesome. All right, Pharrell slander is good to go.
Pharrell.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like we're just warming up, bro.
Bro, we could talk forever.
This is just going. All right. The thing about Pharrell is every single beat he makes sounds like it's his very first beat. It sounds like it's someone's first time making a beat. And sometimes it's like, this is actually not half bad. Like, not conventional, but like you're figuring it out. And it's like, okay, there's like a bop to this.
You could say that. But I feel like in that there's like so much human aspect like built into that, Like there's producers like Jay Dilla who sampled like the melodies and songs and took those and like just put through his own beat on it and didn't think to quantize anything and just left it as is, and it was just purely feel. Now like with Pharrell, like I was bringing up the case that he was like he's a drummer, and I heard that like, and this is not coming from me, I just heard that like drummers like tend to be like really really good producers in a way that they hear the rhythms differently, and they hear like just like the whole song differently and like different cadences and like putting in different little flurries here and there with the rhythm aspect of the drums and stuff like that. So I really like Pharrell's drums stuff. That's my own take.
Okay, well, we're gonna put a pause on this. What's going on?
His phone died.
Oh, my phone died?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay.
All right, this podcast is really secret as hell.
This podcast is the secret podcast.
For his whole monologue on that. Lovely, great.
Niggas just like,
and I'm just like, and then I'm like cautiously looking over at you guys, like, wait, what?
it should cut to just
All
like
right.
to a different scene.
That was
for
a good
second.
monologue, though.
It should cut to a Pharrell like in the marching band, like archives.
Oh. I think it's a whole interesting thing. I mean, when you go into the studio, do you approach it as a drummer? Do you, like, is it different every time? Like, sometimes you start with lyrics.
This is an
'cause
honest
you're
podcast.
multi-hyphenate. You do it all.
Thank you.
Yeah, be honest. Let's keep it real.
I mean, honestly, I'm like really fucking lazy with programming drums on. Like, I know that I hear a song that's not like I like just listen to a lot of music and I hear like, damn, these are like really fire drums. Like someone really went in on these drums and like really fucking made them fire. And
love
like
that.
every single time, my favorite when you were asking me how I started, I guess I started off with the drums, yes, but then I like start off with the simplest beat and never change it, and like just like because I'm like, all right, I could add a fill here and there, I could like switch it up and make it more tasteful, but I'm like, what makes me more excited is like thinking of different lyric ideas or like guitar ideas. Even though drum ones were my first instrument, and like I still consider myself like as a drummer more so than a guitarist. I always feel like drums will always be a big part of me because I was just so young when I started playing drums, and it'll never really leave. Like we were talking about Pharrell and his drums, and like I feel like that will never leave him. Like he was in like the marching band, and like probably prior to that like was a drummer, and like I feel like there's just so much connectivity with your nerves and your feel and hitting drums that like there's like that muscle memory that I'll never quite get far removed. It's like learning to drive kind of. And like I don't know I don't know, maybe if you have some sort of illness like dementia, like I don't think we'll ever forget how to drive until the day we die, you know? And I feel like
There
the
are
same
plenty of
thing.
old people who do not know how to drive anymore.
That's so true, you know?
Yeah. That
But
I feel like they shouldn't even be on the road to
Yeah.
a certain point.
I think after a certain point, you should just stop going on the road.
Well, here's a thought. What if once you reach a certain age, it turns into like maybe like an annual, very casual driver's test? Like if you once you hit 80, you got to just show and prove to someone that like you still can drive.
Is it like
Would you be in favor of that?
Yeah, I think we should like I think we should make a whole like speedway race, like you know,
Separate
like,
lane for the elderly.
No, like we should make them like we should make
Race?
them not race, but like kind of like
What if there was a
ride through all
recreational
those
race?
obstacles, and like if they miss 3, then they can't get their license anymore.
And their license is revoked.
Yeah,
And then
you should probably mark up that proposition. Maybe people will.
nice. Okay, yeah. Before our next podcast episode, we'll draft something to the legislation and see if we can get
We'll
that
keep
passed.
you updated on that proposition.
Yep, that'll come back in the next
Prop
episode.
47.
You're probably shouting out something real.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck.
be careful.
Prop 6078.
Okay, we got a little bit of time before that one comes out, I bet.
Okay, yeah. Blow ways in the future.
True. Shout out to Future.
Like
Vinyl's having a resurgence though. But apparently,
actually, I was
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was reading up on vinyl, and like the first ever vinyl like album that was recorded was on a phonograph
Makes
in
sense.
1880 89 or something like that. And
Yeah, shout out everyone watching from 1889.
yo, shout
real.
out. I forgot his name, but I think it was Emil or something like that. And he recorded like a full length album, and then he trashed his own record. So like
Physically destroyed it, or
yeah, physically destroyed his own record.
that's punk. I like that.
So this new guy, this guy, like it was like I don't know, pretty recent. Like this guy named Peter. I don't know why I'm forgetting the last names.
It's all right.
This guy named Peter finds like a picture of like this said album, and like just recreates the album just by the titles and what like just what it would sound like if it was like called Wiltering Flowers. You like recreated that sound. I don't know. It was something really. I didn't listen to the album, but that was pretty cool.
Nice.
But that was the very first ever recording like of a vinyl, like on an album, like you know.
That's sick. I wonder if there's any 808s on it.
Probably. What do you think? What do you think makes an 808?
An 808? It's a sine wave.
It's a sine wave, but is it a clear,
Usually.
clean sine wave, or
Nah,
is it
there's
like
some
a?
distortion usually? The
That's
good ones at
cool.
least.
Yeah, but how do you distinct a shitty 808 from a really good 808?
You feel it. It's just in the feeling, and it's in the context of the song.
Is it
Depends how-
transients that you feel?
On an 808, transients is important, but sometimes the kick's there for that. So
Yeah, but sometimes people don't even use kicks anymore. Some like kicks
sometimes
or
it's just
something.
808. I
Yeah.
would say the transients is more important in that instance then. But it's almost like the tone and the texture of it and the decay is a little bit more important to me.
Okay.
because sometimes, and it's also a preference thing. Sometimes 808s have like a longer attack, and it feels good in the context of the song. It's a little bit more of like a drawn out 808.
What's your go-to 808?
My go-to 808. It's a good question. It's tough to have a go-to one, but like spins are a classic. I have this one called a 5 a.m. 808 that I use a lot. There's a couple specific ones that I've made that I default to. But recently I've been using more plugins for bass.
Really?
And also I've kind of been off 808s in general. I will always love 808s, but I just like longer sustain, like bass pads and like bass that holds out longer. It just like feels good right now. And I've made a lot of beats with 808s, like short, punchy ones, and I feel like long decay is a vibe right now. And it's like a whole other bag to get into.
Okay.
But like Sublab's good, Sub Boom Bass. There's a couple ones that I use.
Interesting. I ask because I don't ever like produce beats with like 808s, but
That's true. I make more hip hop.
one day
beats,
I will.
though.
I've been getting really into that 808 sound.
Have you?
Yeah, I mean, like it's found its way through country now. Like I've been ripping that Morgan Wallen, the new Morgan Wallen
You
album.
got some 808s on there,
Got
doesn't
some
he?
808s on there. It's pretty fire.
Do you think
like-
we'll ever hear a Francisco Martin song with 808s?
I think so. I think I was like really. I think I'm really not gonna be very like. I don't know, precious about what sounds I'm gonna release. Like I think I just like I want to sound like anything. I want to release what I feel like is fun.
It kind of sounds like
just
reminds me
feels-
of our conversation earlier about you're like I'm being a little bit more open and going with the flow of things.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you like how that kind of translated to the music and if that did translate and if it did in what ways. And it seems like you kind of are touching on it where it's like you're a little bit more open minded in the studio and you feel like I don't want to speak for you, but will you speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I think I don't want to be controlling anymore about what my music should sound like to my own ears. I mean, yes, there's some aspects of like of I need to be in the driver's seat of like creating my own songs. Obviously, that's just how I work. But I think the main thing is just being open with everything. And like, you know, like I don't really listen to country that often. And like even listening to new music, like Morgan Wallen's new album, like makes me inspired. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's sick. Like he put an 808 on a country song and it sounds dope. And like it's Morgan Wallen and like I don't know, and like maybe I don't know his other records. I can't speak on them, but then I think that's really fucking cool. Like I think I was really weirded out. I think what I had to get out of was that like nobody's really overthinking it or judging it more than me, you know? And like it's just
True.
like so like even like years from now it's just like that same recurring thought would only exist in my own head of like, oh damn, it should have been like if like I had a record that like 2 years ago and like I was like, damn, like I really didn't like the way I tracked my vocals there. It sounds really whiny or I don't like the way it sounds like comped or something, or it's too fast of a tempo and I want to slow it down. Only I'm gonna worry about that and really hear that because I'm the one I created it because all my songs I create from my own, like all the songs I've ever released so far come from me.
Yeah, true.
But like just in the basis of like feeling music and producing music in my own head, like the ideas always came naturally. So when I say I want to be more open with ideas, like I want to be open with more people's ideas because like I don't have to be in the driver's seat all the time, and I don't need to be like I don't need to worry about a song. I need to take a step. I needed to take a step back and just have fun with music and just be like grateful. Like damn, like this is fun. Like I get to wake up and like make music and like. If it sucks, then it's fine. But if it doesn't, then it's cool. Then we can all just like get excited and hyped. And like, if it does really well when we release it, then that's also really cool too. And like, we can all like enjoy like life together and like the successes together. And like, I feel like that's another mission of mine is to feel that gratitude, but not just by myself too, but with other people. Like, cause like I said, like I've been hearing a lot of Morgan Wallen's lyrics, and I really like his lyrics because like even though it's like country, like I really like country in some sort of way because the storytelling is really good, and it's always rekindling itself every single time. Like I feel like country's the only genre that doesn't actually like, yeah, it changes and it's like progressed, but it hasn't actually changed as like pop music does, or like hip hop music, or like you know, like in my head, like I think that the main thing that comes from a record that stands out from a certain record or any record is basically just like what you take away from it and how you feel from it, and like the feel, you know?
True. Storytelling's big, and I think country does it well.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I've actually, here in LA, like it's kind of crazy. Like I played country concerts, and like I've like been in that kind of aura and that environment, and like it's a very nice crowd, and like it's not my crowd. I mean, like I'm not even gonna say that it's not my crowd. Like I feel like I want to conform to anything. Like I feel like I want to be myself. Yes.
You're like water.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And like I want to be like in New York, like booling around with like my friends, but I also want to be in Miami on the beach, but I also want to be like here working, but I also want to be in Paris, but I also want to be like in Nashville, like writing songs and like being really meticulous about the craft of writing a song. And also it's like really fun writing in Nashville, because it's like it feels like an actual job over there, because like people actually start at 11 and they're like, all right, I'm done by 3, I got to take care of my kids, you know? And it just feels like that. And it's just like,
I wish 4 hours was a job. That'd be nice.
Right? And then like
starting at 11.
I mean, actually too though, it's crazy, people in Nashville, and we're just getting off topic now, but like
on that tip, we just passed the 30-minute mark, so we can wrap up soon.
Cool. We can
So we
wrap
got
on
plenty
this idea.
But I'm done with that.
Nashville,
bring it home.
as many, you know, it's known as a songwriting town, and like it definitely is, and like, but there's not a lot of people that are signed to publishing or have publishing deals
In Nashville?
Yeah, so there's a lot
Are
of
they all just like indie?
mostly, yeah, like mostly, basically. It's like there's a bunch of songwriters out there, yes, but there's only so few that are signed to actual publishing companies. It's actually crazy.
Interesting. I figured a lot of them would be. How do they support themselves? Just like other jobs too? Or?
But it's so, I don't know, but it's like, I can't speak on that, but I just like heard it from a friend that I write with a lot there, because I write a lot in Nashville, and like, he was telling me that his name is Dave Pittenger, who actually wrote ABCDFU.
Shout out Dave, if you're
Dave.
watching. Thanks.
You are the man. Congrats on our success, bro. But yeah, that's crazy. I think that like to be able to just do music for a living, and like I took it too seriously for too long, and like I think now I'm like starting to realize, yes, it is hard, and yes, it is like it's not fair, and like it's always not going to be fair, but I'm also like growing up and becoming a man, so it's also just that too, you know.
Nice. Well, that's great. I feel like that's a good note. Andrew's got a less serious song to show you once this is done.
Sick.
And I think it's a good thing to end on. Thank you for everyone who's been watching and tuning
Thank
in.
you,
If you made
guys.
it this far, you're insane, and we appreciate you.
I love y'all.
Much love. And out on that, right?
Yeah, that was so sick.